Hello everyone, just thought I'd show off my beautiful new mask my co-worker Fiona Mulroney made. Thank you very much, Fiona. Very fashionable, love wearing it, keeps me safe. Okay, welcome to Pilates. Let's begin by taking 3 deep breaths into right down deep into the base of our lungs. So breathing in through our nose and out through our mouth. See if we can expand the rib cage down here in our lower base of our back. Coming out of the sides. Exhale. Lovely. Okay, let's bring our heels together and our toes apart. We're going to inhale, raise our arms over our head as we go up on our toes. Exhale, bring our hands in front, plie our knees. Inhale, up. Exhale, plie. Inhale. Exhale. Glad you could join us for Pilates. If you can't do it all, don't worry, just do what your body lets you and just have a bit of fun. Come back to the video anytime and repeat it. Okay, now we're just going to put our weight into our right leg, take our left leg backwards, our right arm forwards, and our left arm out to the side. Then we're just lifting up our left leg, just up as far as it'll go, straight leg. Try and keep the hips pointing forward, so don't turn backwards towards that left side. Just up and down, touching the floor. If you really need to hang on to something, that's fine. Working on our balance here as well as using our glute muscle to extend this leg back. Slight bend in my right knee, just so I haven't got it hyper-extended. Not straining it too far backwards. Wobble, wobble, wobble's normal. Okay, hold that left leg up now, give it some little pulses. Just fast little movements up there. Keep the shoulders down and back, keep the belly pulled in. And bring that leg down. Working on our right leg going back now, put the weight into the left leg, a slight micro bend in the left leg. Left arm forward, right arm out to the side, shoulders down our back, belly pulled in, lift and lower. Really feeling this glute or butt muscles working. Holding that right leg up, small pulses. Kick, kick, kick. Little movements. And bring that leg down. Well done. Give the shoulders a roll back. I've just come off my mat while I do these balancing exercises just because the mat's a little bit more unstable and I'll wobble a little bit more. Okay, we're going to go back to our first leg now. So putting our weight in our right leg, we're going to lift our left leg up behind. Bring our arms to our hips. Now we're just going to fold forward till we have our chest horizontal to the floor. Just holding there for a moment, drawing in our pelvic floor and drawing in our lower belly. I'll call those two components the T-zone. So pelvic floor in, band between our hips. It travels right down from our back. Pull that in as well. That's our transverse abdominis. So we'll call it our T-zone, pulled in. Okay, if you can now take the hands to the floor. Extend the back leg up high. You can choose to stay like this or walk out into a full plank. Choose to stay here, left leg still in the air. Or you can do one push-up. Down we go. Exhale, push up. Slowly walking ourselves back. Keep our left leg in the air. See if we can come up to our chest parallel to the floor, hands on our hips. And then see if we can come to standing before we put that left leg down to the floor. Well done. Okay, working on our right leg back now. I'll turn this way. Taking our right leg behind, lift it off the ground, bend over at the waist, hinging at the waist, belly pulled in, holding here, T-zone tight. Hands to the floor, stay like this if you like, leg high behind you, or walking out to a full plank. Again, drop for one push-up, and then walk back. Keep that leg high behind, hands to hips, and then see if you can come up before you place that foot down. Well done. Alright, going into some roll downs now. So standing at the front or the back of your mat. Standing tall, shoulders are down our back, pelvic floor is lifted. Transverse abdominis muscle, wrapping around inside, deep in our lower belly, pulled in. Chin slightly tucked so we have a long neck, and then we're going to roll down. Head rolls, then our shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back, coming over. Get to the base, take a breath in, and as you exhale, stack up your vertebrae, one vertebra at a time, so a slow roll up. The last thing to come up is the shoulders and then the head. We'll do 5 more roll downs, so in your own time. Very slow movements. We're really trying to articulate each spine, each vertebrae in our spine. So on our last one, we're going to roll over and just stay hanging. Relax our shoulders and our arms and our head and really let them hang down low. You can just shape your head left and right, up and down for yes and no. Make sure it's relaxed. Take a couple of deep breaths here because we're going next into a plank. So walking the hands out, you've got 2 options here. You can choose to be in a full plank with your arms straight, knees off the ground, a straight line between your head and your heels, or you can drop your knees down to the ground. What we're going to do from here is tap one foot out to the side and then the other. So if you're on your knees, still can tap out to the side. Trying to keep the hips fairly still. Or up in the full plank. So just continue. Tap, tap, tap. Make sure that our shoulders are over our wrists. We're not pushing back into our heels. We're taking our weight right over our wrists. If it's too hard on your wrist, you can use fist for wrists. So come up into a fist. Let's do 4 more taps. 4, 3, 2, 1. Your choice whether you drop your knees first. Then we're going to bend our elbows in towards our hip bones or rib cage and lower ourselves slowly to the ground, onto the mat. Keeping our hands right down near the sides of our chest, elbows pulled in towards our rib cage, shoulders down our back. We're just going to raise our head and chest. Keep looking down at the mat so that the back of your neck is long, and then lower. Inhale, lift up. This is Cobra pose. Exhale, lower. It doesn't matter how far you come up, whatever your back lets you know what you want to do. On our next one, just staying up for a breath. So come up, breathe out, and breathe in again, and then lower down. Well done. Okay, we're coming into what we call an elbow plank now. Our elbows are underneath our shoulders, so see that they're lining up. Tucking our toes under, pulling that T-zone up, and then we're just alternating a knee to the outside of our elbow. So bring that knee out to the outside of the elbow. It doesn't have to touch, but imagine that it's getting very close there. Don't let the belly sag. Keep your weight of your shoulders over your elbows. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, 1. And gradually put the knees down and lower yourself down onto the mat again. Okay, we're now going to place our forehead on top of our 2 hands, which are on top of each other. So place one palm over the other back of the hand. This time, as we inhale, we're going to lift our hands and our head and shoulders. A bit like the cobra, but our back of our top palm sticking to our forehead. So inhale up, exhale lower. You probably won't come as high as before. Push the tops of the feet into the mat. Up we come again, and lower. You've got 5 more in your own time, with your inhale coming up, and your exhale slowly lowering down. Nice and slow. And lower down. Okay, we have one more elbow plank, so coming up onto the elbows again and the toes. This time we're going to go into a star jump if we can, so instead of the single taps, although you can pick that option, we're just jumping out, jumping in. Out we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 to go, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well done. Come up and come back into child's pose for a little while. So knees apart, bottom towards the heels, arms extended in front of you. Just catch your breath here. Before we come over and sit onto our bottom. So let's sit up nice and tall. Place our heels together, wrap the thighs of our legs around towards the underside of our bottom. So wrapping externally. Toes will come apart. Reach through those toes. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders down your back. Inhale, bring your arms in front of you. Exhale, we're going to scoop our T-zone, our lower belly in. And then slowly roll down. So as slow as you can, scooping that belly, pulling in the pelvic floor. Then we're going to inhale, take our arms over our head. Exhale, come up the same way. So scoop in that T-zone, the lower belly. If you can't come up all the way while maintaining that nice firm T-zone, just come up a little bit and then lower down again. Otherwise, all the way roll up. And then roll down, drawing those shoulder blades down your back. And we'll do 6 more, just as slowly and with as much quality as you can. Feel free to put some music on in your own home to cheer up the atmosphere a little bit. Have a little bit of trouble finding royalty-free music. I thought I had, but it's disappeared on me. Okay, last roll down and we'll stay down on our back. Just going to bend the knees and place the feet hip-width apart on the floor, up near your bottom. I want you to rest your palms of your hands on your hip bones and your middle fingers on your pubic bone to make a triangle. I want you to then lower your middle back towards the floor. So your belly button down, your pubic bone up. And then I want you to come back and arch your back off the floor. And then I want you to find that middle ground where you still have a slight natural arch under your back. And your triangle is flat between your hip bones and your pubic bone. And that's what we call neutral spine. When you take your legs in the air, you might find your abdominal muscles are strong enough to maintain that neutral spine. But to be safer for our lower back, we can just take our lower back towards the floor, what we call imprinting our spine a little bit. You can release the hands to the floor now. Where your middle back's going towards the mat, not pushed hard into it. The pubic bone's not sticking up in the air, just a little bit. And then bring your knees, one leg at a time, up off the ground into what we call tabletop. We might find here our ribs start to flare up. We want to keep them sliding flat down, sliding towards your hip bone. We want to keep that lower back either in neutral or slightly pushed down towards the floor. From here, hands can rest on the mat beside you or on the floor, and we're just going to lower one foot at a time towards the mat and then bring the foot back up again. So the movement is actually coming here at the hips or the groins. The knee is staying at the same angle, 90-degree angle. What we want to do as we do these toe taps is maintain this neutral or slightly imprinted spine. So we do that by drawing in our pelvic floor and drawing in this transverse abdominis muscle between our hip bones. We are sliding our bottom of our rib cage towards our hip bones so that we're not letting them stick up in the air. Our shoulder blades are down our back and we're still toe tapping. So it's quite hard work, quite a lot of work here, engaging through our lower abdominals. you haven't drunk enough water like myself, you might find you're getting cramp through any part of your body, but I'm getting it currently through the under part of my foot. So choice then is that you can actually flex your feet as you do your toe taps. Might relieve that cramp, but I would have been better off drinking more water as a preventative. Okay, bringing both legs up into tabletop now. We're going into a double leg lower. So a double leg towards the mat. You might not reach the mat before you come back, because as we lower, we do not want this lower back to arch up and our ribs to come off up into the air. So just go to wherever you can, maintaining that neutral or slightly imprinted spine. The closer to your bottom that you touch, it may be easier to control. The further out you're touching with your toes, the more control you need in those lower abdominals. I'll just do a couple more. And then we can hug our knees to our chest, have a little rock from side to side. Okay, our next Pilates exercise, we'll have our arms out to our sides in a T, and we'll come back into our tabletop. This time squeeze the knees and the ankles together, glue them together, ribs flattened down, shoulder blades down our back and T-zone switched on. Going to inhale our way over to one side with our knees, exhale back to centre. Inhale to the other side. Exhale back to centre. I'm only going about halfway, about on a 45 degree. You can go lower if you like. Just requires a lot more abdominal strength. So this is our pendulum. We're really using our oblique muscles. So visualise the side of this belly working hard to pull you back to centre. One more each side. And back to centre. Release the legs down onto the floor. Just have a stretch with our arms over our head and our legs extended. Probably in this position is a good demonstration of my ribs flaring up. So with my arms over my head, although I can consciously draw them down, slide them down in the direction of my hips. Okay, so from here we're going to roll up to a seated position. So I'm going to raise my hands over my head. Inhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to come into my roll up again. If you can't roll up, just bring yourself up to a seated position. We're going to go into what we call canoe. So sitting up tall, shoulders down your back for starters. Find those sitting bones to sit on. Bring one leg up into, so the shin is parallel to the floor, and then bring the other leg up. I'm hanging on behind my thighs at this stage. That's option one. You may be able to release the arms and have them running alongside your shins. So this is boat pose. I'm leaning back, but I'm trying to keep my shoulders back and down. Scooping in that T-zone. From here, I'm going to extend my legs and lower my back towards the floor into a canoe shape. From here, I'm going to inhale, come back into my boat. Exhale, lower into canoe. Inhale, come up. So nice and slow and controlled. You don't have to go all the way down. You might make smaller movements. Up we come. Lower. the lift. We've got 4 to go. Use the breath. And when you've done your 4, which I think I might have skipped one and only did 3, put the feet on the ground and just hang forward between the knees. And now we're going into rolling like a ball, which can be a bit of fun. So first of all, bring our knees in as fast as we can and wrap our arms around and grab our ankles securely. So I'm actually crossing my arms in the front here and grabbing my ankles. You might just grab each shin. You might even grab under the knees, might be easier for you. So however you can. What we want to do then is lift our toes off the floor and find a little balancing position. Tuck our head right in by our knees. Now this is our ball shape and we don't want to come out of our ball shape at all because we don't want our head flopping forwards and back. So you might choose this option just to stay in this balancing point, or you might choose to roll. So with our roll, as we inhale, we roll back. As we exhale, we come up. Using our abdominal muscles, come to a stop in our starting position with our toes off the ground. So just have a bit of a play. You might find you get back, can't get up, you might have to get a bit of a momentum and swing yourself up. But the whole idea is to do it with control, not momentum. So off we go. But really trying to keep that chin tucked in next to the chest to protect our neck. We shouldn't be going anywhere near at the back of our neck. We should only be rolling to the middle of our shoulders. Couple more rolls each. Come up to our starting point and then release. Good job. All right, sitting tall again, legs extended. Let's inhale our arms up in front of us and exhale, roll down slowly again. Really articulating that spine as we go down, painting it down onto the mat, resting the head down. Okay, we're going into our hundreds now. So this involves both legs off the mat again. So we are going to engage our T-zone and then slightly imprint our spine towards the floor. So lower back gently towards the floor. Bring one leg up at a time into tabletop. Actually, option 1, you can leave the feet on the floor. Option 2, the legs into tabletop. Option 3, legs extended. I'm going for option 2, bent knees. Inhale, raise the head and shoulders and reach the fingertips towards the direction of the toes. From there, nice firm arm pumps. Pumping from the shoulders, not flopping the hands and the elbows. So we want strong arms, strong pumps. Belly's pulled in and we do 10 breaths here. So we inhale for the count of 5. Exhale for the count of 5. So that's 1, that's 10. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it going. Lift those shoulder blades as high off the mat as you can. Reach towards those toes. It's called hundreds because sometimes we do 100, sometimes we do more, sometimes we do less. Let's do 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And relax down. You can let the knees fall out or get in whatever comfortable position for a few moments while we recover. Okay, extending our right leg, we're going to bring our left knee towards our chest. You can place your left hand on it for the first circle, might give a bit of a go. And what we're going to do is take that knee out to the side and around and make a circle, bring it up through the middle, out to the side and around. So you can do it with a hand on it or without a hand, but we're making circles initiated from our hip there. Let's change the direction. Down the middle, swing out and around. Down the middle, out and around. So we're trying to get some mobility, a good range of motion into this hip joint. And bring that knee back to centre and straighten your left leg. Bring your right knee in. Same thing with this side. Out to the side with the knee and up through the middle. Try and keep our hip bones still pointing evenly to the sky so we're not rocking over to one side as we take that knee round. We've actually got our T-zone still engaged, always engaged. Forever the fiancé. Let's go the other direction. And bring that knee back to centre and straighten it out onto the ground. Not for long though, so bringing the feet in by side, the bottom. We're going into what we call a bridge. So bring the heels in as close to the bottom as you can, but keep the knees and ankles the same distance apart and about hip bone width apart. From there, we're going to imprint this spine. So lower the middle back quite fully to the floor now. So it's pushing our middle back towards the mat, and then we're going to slowly lift the rest of our spine up until we're in a bridge. So you can stay here in the bridge, just trying to imagine our inner thighs are being drawn towards each other, so they're not falling out, we're not dropping our hips. Keep our hips high. Or you could choose to take your left leg straight up to the sky, keep both hips lifted, and then lower that left leg knee height of your right knee. Then lift, then lower. Lift for 3, lower. Lift for 4, straight up to the sky, lower. Lift for 5, lower. 6, lower. 7, keep the hips up, lower. 8, lower. 9, lower. 10, lower. And then place that left foot down onto the mat. Get ready to work your right. So balance, get your weight into that left foot. Lift the right leg to the roof. Lower. Lift, that's 1. Lower. Lift, 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And lower that foot down to the mat. And then painting the spine from the top of the spine to the bottom. So using your tummy muscles to curl that spine down onto the mat. Lower, 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 middle back. And then once you get your lower back on the floor, straightening up so that you're back into neutral pelvis. Good stuff. Our last exercise on our back, we're going to bring our feet into the air and join the soles of our feet together. So the knees will be apart. We're making a diamond or frog shape. And we're going to lift our head and shoulders off the mat and rest our head in our hands. Tighten our T-zone, keep our elbows wide. We're going to push those legs away. Now you can push them straight up to the sky and then bring them down and bend them. Straight up, bend, or you can push away at 45 degrees, or you might even push lower. Need a lot of control through that belly. So I'm going to push away at 45. Push, straighten the legs, bend back into frog. Keep those shoulders, blades off the mat as high up as you can. We'll do 6 more. Keep those ribs sliding down towards the hip bones, belly pulled in. 3, 4, 5, 6. And bring those knees into your chest. Have a rock from side to side. And then we'll make our way over onto our side. For some side exercises, so laying down along the lengthwise of your mat or floor. Bend both knees, line up our ankles, our hips and our shoulders in a straight line. So knees are actually bent in front of us. What we're going to do then is push our top hip away from its rib cage. So here I am collapsing through this upper waist. I'm going to push it away, which will actually lift my lower waist and lengthen it along the mat. From there, I'm going to open my knee, top knee, for the clam, and then I'm going to kick up. And then I'm going to bring that foot back down to the bottom foot and close the clam. So open the clam, kick up towards the roof, foot together and close. You can have your head resting in your hands like I have, or you could rest it down onto a straight arm. Let's do 4 more here. And close. From here I'm going to keep my knees bent, join my knees together and take my top foot up in the air, still in line with my bottom foot and my hips and shoulders. So I'm drawing a straight line. From there I'm going to take the knee in the air and join the feet together. And then it's knee to knee, foot to foot, knee to knee. Try not to rock back this top hip. Try not to collapse through this top hip. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Knee to knee, toe to toe. So internal rotation of this hip, external rotation. Internal, so getting movement into this hip. Last one, toe to toe, and then close the knees together. Just give your butt a nice clap, well done. Okay, we have our bottom leg bent and our top leg extended straight. We've got our top leg foot flexed, so our toes are pointing back towards our face, and I have it hip height, so the height of my top hip. From there, I've got my foot parallel to the floor, so straight onto the floor. I just want to make about an 8-inch movement, so we say 20 centimetres up and down. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Back to starting position. Swing it forward now 45 degrees so it runs in line with your bottom knee, and we're going to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only bringing it back to hip height, not dropping it all the way to the ground. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Starting to burn. One more. Kick it forward as far as you can. Don't collapse through the waist. Up and down we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hang in there. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Swing it all the way back and down. Well done. Woo. Yummy. Okay. Let's take that top leg forward and place the foot on the floor, trying to lift the top knee off the ground. So not letting it collapse onto the floor, because then all my waist collapse. And then we're extending through the bottom leg and lifting and lowering. Imagine it's this, well, it is your inner thigh of the bottom leg doing the lift. So focus on that area in your mind. "12, 13, 14, 15, and lower down. Good job. Pushing up now. We're going to come into a side plank from our knee. So let's have our, the cramping's got me again. Have our weight on our bent left knee, our foot going out behind us, and our left straight arm. We have our right leg extended. Right arm overhead, and then we're just drawing our right knee up towards our elbow and our elbow towards our right knee. So try and engage your tummy muscles. Keep it nice and strong. That's 11, we'll do 15 again. 12, 13, 14, 15. Well done. Let's make our way over to our other side. And we started with our clam, so we had our knees bent and together. Our feet, hips and shoulders in line, our top waist and our bottom waist both are lengthened. Then we're opening our clam and kicking up, and then closing. Open, kick, foot to foot, close the knee. So my bottom foot's on the ground here, as is my bottom knee. Couple more here. And then close the clam. We're going our knee to knee and toe to toe here, so we'll keep our knees joined together and then lift our top leg, my left leg, foot in the air. Then I'm going to take my top knee up and my foot down to meet the other foot. So knee to knee, toe to toe. Keep your T-zone switched on. Knee to knee, toe to toe. Try not to rock that top hip backwards. Keep it in the same spot, not moving at all. Movement's all down here in our hip joint. 2 more. And then close our plan. Okay, my bottom leg is remaining bent and I'm extending my top leg, pushing through the heel, flexing the top foot, hip height, and then it's just lowering, lifting and lowering. 1, 2, 3, belly pulled in, 4, 5, don't let it puddle out on the mat, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's easier, 10 and 5 is easier than 15. Swing the leg forward in line with the bottom knee, lift, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Swing it as far forward as you can. If you've never done Pilates before, I don't expect that you can do 15. It's burning. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Swing it back and down. Ooh. Good job. That one's a killer. Okay. Ooh, bring that top leg forward. Knee off the ground, foot on the floor. Extend and lengthen that bottom leg and lift using your inner thigh muscle there. That's 15. Good job. Give it a try again. Okay. Might miss one, but all I can think now is our side planks. So coming up onto our knee and a straight arm. Extend that top leg in a nice straight line. Arm overhead, knee to elbow. 2, 3, 4. Work that T-zone. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 2, 1. Good job. Okay, you've earned child's pose. So knees apart, bottom towards the heels. Feel that relaxation in your butt muscles. Extend the arms above your head or swing them around beside your ankles if that's more comfortable. Just take a nice few deep breaths here. Good job. Okay, before we finish, we're going to do some hamstring curls. So we are on our bellies now, arms beside your body. I'll explain the bottom half first. We're going to bring our heels into our bottom, 1, 2, 3, then extend and lift the knees off the mat. At the same time, we're going to clasp our hands behind our back, have our elbows sinking towards the floor. So as we bring our knees in, lift our chest a little, 1, 2, 3, and then we extend our arms and pull our shoulders, our hands away from our shoulders. Then hands clasped behind the back, elbows apart. The head can actually rest down on one cheek. 1, 2, 3. Extend, pull back. Drop the head to the other cheek. 1, 2, 3. Really clenching the backs of those thighs as you pull them in. Feet are flexed. So just try and have a go at this. A couple more each side. 1, 2, 3. Pull back, lift the chest, lift the legs. One more each side. And release, relax down. Alrighty, let's push up onto all fours. We'll just let our belly drop towards the floor and look forward. And then curling our back up into the air, look between the knees. Just a cat and cow, just to get a little bit of smooth motion there in that spine again. And then we're going to tuck our toes under and lift our knees off the floor and push our upper thighs back in the air into downward dog. Really trying to push the heels towards the mat here so we get a big stretch in the back of our legs. We're aiming for the leg stretch here. If your heels are nowhere near the floor, don't worry, as long as you can feel a stretch happening. Depends on the tightness of our hamstrings and muscles in the backs of our legs and our Achilles, and the back of our ankles. Then just slowly walk the feet towards the hands, bend the knees if necessary, and just hang over. We'll just stay hanging here for a minute or so. You can have your legs as bent or as straight as your stretch allows. Beautiful big deep breaths here. And then bending our knees, let's slowly roll up again. Just slowly. If you're a little bit woozy when you come up slower next time. We're just going to roll our shoulders backwards. And then circle our arms forwards. Clasp our hands behind our back, pull back and pull down. So lifting the chest up, getting that stretch across the front of our chest. Good antidote for when we're sitting at a desk all day, or just if we're the sort that hunches forward a lot, stretching these chest muscles. Do it every hour. hold on to this stretch for another 30 seconds. Hope you enjoyed doing or watching Pilates today. Tomorrow at 11 we're going to do a chair-based exercise class. So if you would like to join in, we'll do that at 11 o'clock. And then at 4 o'clock we have our active or happy yoga, vinyasa yoga. Reaching up in the air with one arm and over, stretching the side of our chest. So at 11 o'clock for a chair-based exercise class, which even if you're quite active and mobile, you can still join in with. Particularly good if you like your armchair, you can do it all in your armchair. Other arm up and over. And then, so that's at 11, and then at 4 we'll do our flowing yoga. If you can't join in at those times, they will be on the Facebook site. You can come back to any time, just go to the video section. Okay, let's finish with 3 big deep breaths. So circle our arms up, look up, reach up as we inhale and exhale, a big stretch back and down. And again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll get my mask back on now and I'll see you tomorrow hopefully. See you.